paid now. And that's what 2024 is about, because you're going to get called a grifter no matter what you do.
Exactly.
2, 1, fire.
I'm Lila Hart.
Hey guys, I'm really happy to welcome to the podcast a comedian. She's a Filipina American. Her name is Lila Hart.
I am Donald Trump's wife.
This is weird. He likes it.
She got a hell of a punch.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Wow, my shot is so good.
Folks, you need to watch The History of Voter Fraud. This is an amazing 2-hour film. This lady and her husband that put it together are incredible. This information is being censored and needs to get out.
Thank you. I'm with the great Alex Jones. What the is this movie even? Sex is overrated. Bitch, please.
Put the gun down, Lila. Put the gun
Get down on your knees.
Lila,
Get on your knees. Guys, I'm back from the bathroom. I've been snorting pixie sticks. And you didn't expect my little ass to just pop in there and be like, who the fuck is in my spot? And then he fucking knew. He fucking knew. All I had to say was, who the hell is parked in my spot, bitch?
Ow! That was so close, Lila. Lila, stop!
We're way hotter than them. They're fucking ugly. And we're gonna
Yes, not rowing. I want us to lose.
Queen. You want to be hot or ugly? Are you hot or are you ugly? Yay, I'll be double fisting too.
Stop!
I am a firearms instructor.
Stop!
Better hit that like and subscribe button.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
Do it now.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit
Do it now. You better hit that like and subscribe button. Do it now. Do it now. Oh my gosh. Late Night Lila with your host. And I've got a special guest, my first in-studio guest. It's Abel Garcia.
Hi, Chad. It's been a while. Well, technically, it was yesterday.
As you guys, all the sweethearts in here, Abel is actually a sweetheart from the chat. And now he is live in studio. Dat Boy says, what's up, Abel?
Hey, Dat Boy.
Yes, thank you for sharing this stream. Oh my God, me and Abel have had so much fun today. What did we do today, Abel?
Well, we went to Blaze Studios here in Texas. And I was on stream with Alex Stein, Primetime 99, Pimp on a Blimp.
And I was there for moral support, and I took a bunch of pictures and videos, and we'll, I'm going to share that with you guys now too. Let's share all of our cute photos that we took at the Blaze.
I hope y'all watch this show because you get to hear a behind-the-scenes conversation with me and Lila.
Yes. Did you guys, if you haven't checked out the show, it was on Alex Stein. Please check it out. The interview was phenomenal. Abel shared some of his story. Can you kind of get the audience up to date bit of your story?
Yeah, so for those that do not know, I'm a detransitioner, and I started this process in California. Now, I do recommend you guys watching the stream to get the full, 95% of it, because I didn't get to finish everything. But to give you guys a bit more information, California rushed my transition. They fought me to stop me from detransitioning, and they were about a few inches away from cutting off my genitals. But that was them, not me.
He still has them, okay? It's a little too hot. We're having our positivity, y'all. Positivity, cheers. Positivity. Aw, and Dat Boy says, Abel, you were so quick with the funnies on Alex's show. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lila, for being Abel's support. Of course. It was so much fun. Woo, Abel.
Hey, Tristan.
It was so much fun. We had a blast. So Abel picked me up. Let's share all the fun stuff on Abel. I learned how to do this screen sharing.
You didn't know? I could have taught you how to do this.
I didn't know. Okay, there's a lot of things I didn't know.
Well, then I'm gonna have to come in and show you some of this stuff because I know how to do it.
Okay, awesome. This woo! We're gonna. Here we are. Yay, I'm with Abel. We are on the way to the Blaze. What are we doing today, Abel?
We're gonna be talking with Alex Stein, Primetime 99.
Yeah, Pimp on a Blimp. Are you ready? Are you excited for your interview?
I'm always excited with Alex.
We're gonna have fun.
Now, if you guys are wondering, I was not driving.
No, could you imagine that? Okay, and then here we are at the studio. This is a cute little. Here. This was on the actual Pimp blimp.
We are on the set of Primetime.
We're
with
on the
Alex Stein.
blimp?
How does it feel to be on the blimp?
I like the Pimp on the Blimp. It's an interesting studio.
Yes, Alex will be sitting there, and I will be supporting my friend Abel. You guys be sure to tune in 6 p.m. on Primetime with Alex Stein. See you, chat rats, in the chat.
Yes, you chat rats. I was in the chat rat. I was chat rat all night. And then here's Chris Darby. He mic'd everybody up. There he is, miking up Abel.
I didn't even see that photo.
I took so many cute ones behind the scenes. This is me and Abel at inside, like when he first entered the Blaze. So there's a screen that said Prime Time with Alex Stein. Yeah, Prime Time with Alex Stein. We are here. We are at the Blaze. Abel, are you excited?
I'm always excited.
Yeah. And then another adorable photo of us because we're just the cutest. Okay, and then, there's me sitting in Alex's chair, and I said, I'm the chat rat queen tonight. Say hi to me in the chat. So, hello to everyone. Thank you so much. Nice boots. I wore pink boots with my pink lipstick. I thought it was a good match.
You know what? I need to go get pink boots as well.
Yes. Oh, and then here's the promo that I
And
found.
Abel Garcia, we're going to get to the bottom of all this gender dysphoria stuff. This guy's a personal hero of mine, willing to stick his neck out there and speak the truth.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you guys live in a few minutes.
Woo! Tune in, 6 p.m.
Primetime 99.
And then there's another, Chris shared that. And then here's the actual, where you guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you can find the link, but also you could just go to Alex Stein's YouTube channel, Primetime with Alex Stein, and then you can watch the entire episode, which I totally recommend that you guys do.
This is my favorite episode, so I do recommend y'all to.
And then look, Abel met my mom. Abel, it's so great to have you at my house, in studio, in my home. Can you believe it?
I like it.
Can you believe you're at the Late Night Lila official location, my home?
Well, now you have to come to my place.
Yes. So, oh my God, psychic. Okay, for God's sakes, cover up those zits. I'm not going to. I have to let my skin breathe. I don't put anything on my face, okay? Like this is just my face. I'm not using foundation. And this is just part of hormones. It just happens, okay? It'll clear. You can still be hot with zits. It's all good. Yes. Abel met Mama Esperanza too. How cool. No, this is my house. Me and my husband bought a house in Dallas, Texas. We are home owners. It's a Barbie dream house, but it's still a house. So.
And I will say, I told her if she needs landscaping, I'll make a company and I'll start working.
Yes. Remember my HOA had a problem with the landscaping situation. What's up, Erica? She says Abel and Lila. So, Abel, what was your favorite part about being on Alex's show tonight?
I like the entire thing. It was actually interesting. It's the first time I've been with Blaze, so it was an interesting experience. I will say he did catch me off guard with the ads.
Yeah, there was a lot of ads.
Yeah. Apparently, some people didn't like some of my jokes regarding the ads, but that's not my problem.
Funny. I thought they're great. Jose Nader says, Lila, go on Kill Tony. I've been on Kill Tony 6 times. If you guys want to watch that, just go to my YouTube channel, type in Lila Hart, Kill Tony, and you'll see all 6 of my former appearances. I did Kill Tony in 2017 when it was actually filmed at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. So definitely check that out if you guys want to watch that, all you Kill Tony fans. All right. So, Abel, I think you were pretty great on the show because you shared a lot of your story that it was even shocking for Alex to hear.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was shocking and I failed to realize how little Alex knew about my story. He knew I did transition. He knew I detransitioned. But yeah, I will say I shocked him and his entire crew.
Should we share with them your former photo that you sent me? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you last time.
Let me go into my... Okay. Yay. I will get these pictures.
Show
up.
them before.
This one?
No.
This
before.
one?
No, that's after. That's during, and that's before.
Okay, so this is before.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll show this one first, and then, okay, and I'll have you explain this photo. Here you go.
So this is me before I transitioned and before I did anything. That I had at this time of this photo is being taken, I had already talked to a therapist. I had a terrible sexual relationship. If you want to know what I mean by that, watch Alex's episode and you will get to know more on that. And then
Should I show the next part?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's before his transition, and then this was after his transition.
During
His transition. Okay, because there's a during transition, there's after yeah, it's it, because then you detransitioned. Okay, so here it is.
So that is what I looked like after I just got my boobs.
He had bobs. Okay, he had big bobs.
Yeah, they were huge.
So how many years did you look like this? Did you spend as living as a woman?
From November 2016 until December 2020. That is from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess where you could say it was more presentable was after, right? I guess I want to say after I got the breasts.
bobs, yeah.
Yeah. Because that was May of 2018.
Okay, and then we'll show them the final photo. Well, they see you now, but I just love this picture of you, and I want to share it with
Which
them.
is also my profile picture for everything.
Yeah, so this, if you guys can find him, and then now this is current Abel.
It's still a good background. That's Denton.
Yeah, look at you, looking like a freaking Greek god, looking awesome.
Yep.
Okay, here, this is a good question. Abel, who paid for all your transition expenses?
Well, before I answer that question, how long did you live in California?
How long did I live there?
Yeah, well, let me rephrase that. When did you leave?
I left California September of 2021.
Okay, so Lila was paying for my for everything. Jokes aside, California taxpayers and California insurance, they paid for everything. So technically, you can say Lila paid for everything.
I did. I paid for it. Wow.
She got her money's worth out of it.
Oh my gosh. So how, like, when you just decided that you wanted to transition, like, what did you do?
So before I did anything, I went to talk to a therapist who was captured. Kind of should have been obvious when you realize where she worked. Was a lesbian and also ran a transgender support group. But I'm not saying there's a conflict of interest, but I'm just saying. But yeah, so she was quickly approved me for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, some sexual trauma happened. Watch Alex's episode for that if you want to learn more.
Do you want to share it here or do you want to save it?
I'll let them watch Alex's episode.
Watch Alex's episode so you can get the inside scoop on the sexual trauma that occurred to Abel, which was a big part of why he transitioned in the first place. Yes. And that's a good way to put it, right? Yep. Okay.
And then, yeah, so everything happened pretty quickly. Eventually, I went through it. And then, I guess best way I can put it is it was a slow buildup on my decision to detransition. Plus the fact that the LGBT community did not enjoy the fact that I wanted to be a police officer and excommunicated me like they were a religion.
Wow. So you think that part of your transition too is like looking for community and that acceptance, and in the beginning, like the transgender community was that place for you?
Yeah. I did need a lot of community and a lot of warmth. I guess that there's that old quote. Dang it, I can't think of it at the top of my head, but it's if a child gets no any love from their family, they'll burn the village they feel its warmth. Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. And instead of burning down my village, I burned down myself.
Respect, Mexican police officer. That's right. So okay, what do you think was your What?
I'm reading the comments at that point. Abel doing the Kermit Frog meme.
That's great. So what do you think made it like what was the catalyst for you to decide, okay, so you're living as a woman. What made you decide that you wanted to detransition and you're like, I want to become back to who I am as a man?
So that had a slightly different catalyst than what caused me to transition. So I have to assume God was keeping an eye on me from the beginning, because before I went to see the therapist, before I walked into her doors, something spoke to me. It said, they cannot stop me from transitioning, but if I'm going to go through this path, I have to agree to take it slow. So I agreed. I wanted to wait 5 years before I got my bobs, and then 10 years before I cut everything off. Luckily and unluckily, I broke the first rule. I got the bobs within less than 2 years. But because I said I have to at least keep half of my promise, I didn't cut anything off. So that was that I have to assume that was God speaking from the beginning, and He allowed me to go down this path to eventually speak out on it. So, and again, wanted to be a cop. The transgender community didn't like that. As soon as I didn't pass the academy, started working with my local department. They said they excommunicated me, which is the best way to put it. And well, they didn't have their love bombing or anything, so I was left alone, and then everything came crashing down like an avalanche.
So what do you think has been your biggest lesson from going through this very unique experience in life, like living as a man, then becoming a woman, and now returning as a man?
Well, it's opened my eyes on the world, because if you speak to men and if you look on the internet, there's a French side of both. The French side of men, French side of women. Obviously, they're both going to hate each other for some dumb reason. And I've opened my eyes like, okay, some of them, they're both crazy, the French side, but it also opened my eyes that we're not so different on everyone.
Is there anything you miss about living as a woman?
Attention. Girl, I was attractive.
You have big bobs.
They're huge.
You miss the attention. Oh my God.
Hey. I was so pretty. I probably would have gotten Trump's attention. He only liked the pretty women.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think you look like a great man too.
Well, I look better than most people. I'm just saying.
What do you like about living as yourself now as a man?
Well, I am living authentic to what God made me. And I can say that now that I am living authentically, and no, not the way these activists say, I can now speak out and protect people more, as I have seen. I've stared into the void and I have returned.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking incredible. It's really powerful. What gave you the confidence and the bravery to actually like speak out and share your story?
So I actually first spoke up in 2020 before anyone was out publicly.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, that interview is no longer on air. But at the time, there were not that many detransitioners. A majority of them, I think like over 90% of them were women. And there was always a quote that I always said, if no one stands up for me, nobody will. So I decided if no one's going to stand up for me, I'll stand up for others. And the more I thought about it, well, I fall under a few categories. Coming from California, I'm a young man. I am no hablo inglés. I am a minority due to my Hispanic bloodline. So I was like, I could probably speak out, especially coming from California, where it's predominantly Hispanic, Latino. So yeah, that's what why I decided to speak out. And I haven't had the most success like some of my other colleagues. The most famous right now is Chloe Cole. If you remember.
But you've been able to connect with other detransitioners. What do you think is when you've connected with these people, like what is the best part about actually like meeting somebody else who's gone through this specific?
We can all
situation?
relate to each other on a
Deeper
similar,
level.
on a deeper level. Even if we're, like I said, it's predominantly young women, and I'm one of the few men, but we can also get along pretty well. Unfortunately, there are some of the detrans young women who have been affected so badly they have become misandrist and hate all men.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, maybe this is just me being a bit too happy-go-lucky and looking at the world a bit with trying to look at the world with a better perspective. I don't understand why they don't like men. Yes, I get some of them were hurt, but if I were to use the same logic against women, and especially since I was a therapist, I'd be an asshole.
How is your relationship with the transgender community today?
Oh, they don't like me. No, like.
They don't like you at all.
Oh no, they yelled at me in Texas when I was at the legislature. Let's see. Yeah, luckily I don't get too much hate from them again, because the ones who get the most hate are the young women, because the most of the activists are men. These activists that are pushing this trans ideology are men. So when they see a detrans woman speak out, they see her as a easier target compared to me. And again, logically, from these other men's perspective, it's easier to go after someone like Chloe, who's a 19-year-old young lady, compared to me, a 27-year-old man.
Yeah. What do you think about people transing their children?
I think that is child abuse, and a lot of these, and I don't like to target people on ethnicity or skin color, but it is a lot of white women who have nothing better to do in their lives, which has become a lot of trans housing by proxy.
Yes. Wow. That's an actually very good way to put it. And it very much feels like child abuse. What medications were you on?
I was on estrogen and spironolactone. Estradiol, which is the generic form of estrogen, and spironolactone, which I eventually learned was actually more about actually medication for heart. It's a heart medication.
And what did these medications do for you?
Well, estradiol, in the name, was estrogen. The spironolactone lowered my testosterone, which technically really didn't matter because I've always had a low testosterone level.
You had a low testosterone level.
Yep.
Do you think that played a part to anything?
At the time, no, but looking back, yes. Yeah, I realized yes.
Do you feel protective of the detrans women?
Yes, I try to look out for them, especially because I want to say it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. I might be wrong on that, but I always try to my best to make sure they're all doing okay. Some of them are doing better than others. Some of them have other people already in their lives who keep an eye on them, so that's good. So I'm not really that useful to keep an eye on them since they already have someone else in their lives.
Well, that's good, but you're here as a support system too, just because you know what it's like to go through the whole process of it.
Yep, and that's why I try to be friends with everyone, but some people don't like that.
No, I think it's important. So what would you identify today as yourself?
A child of God.
Oh, I love that, Abel.
And hopefully soon a soldier of God.
A child of God, a soldier of God. Well, I actually loved when I got into your car and you were playing
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I switch it between religious music and country music.
Well, I loved it. It was such a good vibes. It was like Jesus loves you vibes, and it was freaking awesome. Amen. Okay, that boy has a question. Abel, did you ever experience the breast implant illness many women are talking about?
I have no clue what illness they're talking about.
Do you miss having breasts?
I'm okay.
You're okay. You don't.
They were too big.
Were they uncomfortable? Did your back hurt?
No, they were fake, so no.
Oh my gosh.
And now if they were real, yes, they would have been heavy. But because it was mostly water or saline, technically, they were pretty light.
What was the surgery like? Was the surgery more painful getting them implanted or taken out?
So I had 3 surgeries to add them, to remove them, and then to reconstruct my chest. The worst one was the last one, to reconstruct my chest, because I also had some tubes attached to me. I had so much medication that I was stuck on my bed for about a week. And I could not get up on my own. To get them added, that was fine. To get them removed wasn't too bad. But yeah, no, the last one, to reconstruct my chest completely, because that was a pain in the butt.
How long was the healing process for that?
Luckily my boss let me have 2 weeks off. So I had 2 weeks off to recover. So I used the first week to stay in bed all week. Couldn't use the bathroom at all.
Oh my god!
I had to get help using the bathroom, and even then, there wasn't much that I could do.
Okay, so I have a question. So you're 27 years old now.
Yep.
You started this process when you were 18.
Yes.
Okay. If you could go back in time to speak to your 18-year-old self as the 27-year-old man that you are today, what would you say?
I would tell the young version of me it's okay to be a man, even if I have one low T, and I am not the most masculine, stereotypical Mexican. I'm sorry to my younger self. I don't always wear a sombrero and a poncho and dance with maracas, okay?
So you just tell yourself it's okay to be you.
Yes.
And you don't have to change yourself to accept yourself.
Yes.
It's good. What do you attribute your positivity to?
The fact that I've stared into the void and I looked back, and the void is the one that blinked first.
Yeah, the thing that I love the most about Abel is that he actually has such a great sense of humor when sharing his story, because it's pretty traumatic, and I think that's part of it. What do we say? It's like time plus tragedy equals comedy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you kind of have to laugh to keep from crying. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I've already spent enough times crying in my own bedroom alone and asking God why, and enough time with a bottle.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully done with all this bullshit. But because I doubt that, probably in some legislative hearing with some legislator telling them, knock the fuck off and stop sterilizing these children. We've already had more than enough time to stop this.
Well, Abel, I think it's, it's pretty amazing to me how like what you've gone through in your testimony is what can be used to help open people's eyes and get legislation changed, Yeah.
Well, I did have legislative change here in Texas. My friends have had success in other states. I don't know if we had any success in Nebraska. No, we've had hearings there. Tennessee, we had success. Florida, we had success. New Mexico and Iowa recently just had hearings. Ohio had a few hearings. The bill passed, but was vetoed by the governor. I don't know if you heard about that. The Ohio governor vetoed a bill to protect children.
What?
Yeah, and he is a Republican. But after some investigation from the internet, it turned out he had received money from organizations to support sterilizing children. So we all know why he vetoed our bill, but luckily we had the Senate and the House had enough power to override his veto.
So when you told your psychiatrist that you might be transgender, did they do any further investigation or any further questioning or any ask for you to go see somebody else or maybe go to like a group therapy or anything?
No, she did not. She immediately said, yes, I'm a transgender woman. She had my letter to transition and she did not want to gatekeep me. Now, I did go to her support group meetings, which she ran. And again, lesbian woman who mostly has transgender clients and runs the transgender support group. I ain't saying anything, but.
So there was absolutely no pushback. Nobody questioned you. As soon
Pushback, and definitely not a conflict of interest. I would never legally say that. Somebody call my attorney.
So, do you think that so how quickly from when you told her that you were transgender were you put on medication?
So I saw her I don't remember exactly, but it was between January and March is when I saw her. And then the sexual trauma happened in May. And November is when I finally accepted the hormones. So,
Were you already dressing as a woman before then?
No. I waited until I got the medications because I was still living at my parents' house and after being sexually abused. Watch Alex Stein's episode and use for that information.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I had to wait till at least I left.
Okay, she was a lesbian. Help me work through this. So lesbian trans woman, that means born a male, transitioned to female, but still attracted to women?
No. She is a biological woman. I know most people don't know what that is, but she was a woman.
She was a lesbian woman who led
the transgender support group, but she was not trans herself.
Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, and what gave you this idea in your mind that you're like, were you consuming a lot of media or?
So again, because of my background, we were in poverty a lot. So we didn't really have the internet until I want to say like late middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I questioned myself again due to the fact that I wasn't the stereotypical masculine young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And those thoughts were already in me before the internet. But when I finally got access to the internet, I don't know how I found it, but YouTube was what attracted me to all that transgender stuff. And that's where I found it. But because, again, I was very young, over a decade ago, so this stuff wasn't as prominent as it is today. I decided to wait until I was much older. It was more of, let's see how this pans out. And I waited until after I was out of high school, into college, and that's when I finally started doing it.
Yeah. And then, so but you didn't start like dressing or making yourself appear as a woman until after the sexual stuff happened.
I had dressed as a woman a few times prior to that, but it was just with friends.
Yeah. And so then the sexual assault happened, and then you went back to the therapist and you're like, hey, no, this is what I want to do. And there was no pushback, let you do it, put you on medication right away.
Yeah.
Did they ever let you, did they ever tell you that there was going to be any side effects from these medications?
Nope. They said I'm going to be the woman I was supposed to be, and there was no negative side effects.
They told you there was no negative side effects.
Well, they didn't mention the negative side effects, so they didn't say anything about it.
So did you even have any fear of there being side effects?
No. Because the way they portrayed everything was picture perfect.
Okay. And has there been side effects?
Oh, definitely. Atrophy of my genitals. And I'll just do it the same way I did on Primetime 99. I don't remember how big I was prior, but let's just say, wait, there we go. Whatever, tiny. I realized when I did it on Alex's stream, the way I did it went like this. I was like, oh. Someone's going to clip that out. And I just did it again.
Okay. Here's a question. Erica says, have to bump Roscoe question. Has your opinion about sterilization of children changed, or were you always of the same opinion you have now?
Wait, let me read that question again. Has your opinion about sterilization of children? Well, before I was in support, or I guess brainwashed into this cult, I didn't really think about it too much. Now, when I was brainwashed into the cult, again, I was in line with whatever they said, so I didn't really think it was sterilization. Yeah. But after I woke up to the realization of what happened, that is when I realized, oh, we are sterilizing an entire generation. Now, I don't know if I'm sterilized. And that's what I'm trying to do right now to get it figured out. But unfortunately, it costs a pretty penny, which I don't have that penny. have an ugly penny, not a pretty penny. But yeah, and my insurance is being a pain in the butt with trying to get that covered. So I'm trying to get
It's
that.
interesting. So you call it a cult. Why do you call it a cult?
Oh, I call it a death cult. Because I don't know if I said it on Alex's stream or somewhere else. I've said it enough times. But honestly, I'd rather trust the Church of Scientology than the Church of Transgenderism again.
While you were in the cult, did you feel like you were in a cult?
No.
It felt
never-
like a family.
It felt like a family because everyone was love bombing you, and it felt great. But when you step out of line and they pounce on you, that's when you see the truth.
Wow. That's fascinating.
By the way, that boy, it's good.
Yes, it's good. Let's read our positivity quotes. Read yours first.
Nature teaches us harmony.
Aw. And mine says, without the storms and rain, life would cease to be. And even a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. I think that's pretty good. First step. Yes. So there's so much more financial / insurance support to transition than to detransition.
Yeah, that is the sad part. They actually fought me to detransition. They didn't want to cover any of the detransition. And originally, because they said no, my surgeon said it was going to cost $3,000 out of pocket. Didn't have that money.
Wow.
And
So it didn't cost you anything to get the boobs put in.
No, Lila paid the whole thing.
Yeah,
The
I paid
taxes.
for it. But to get them removed when you decided you no longer wanted to be a part of this cult.
I had to pay $3,000 just for the surgery itself, not for any of the anesthesia or anything else.
So, okay, I have a question. What is your opinion on like people transitioning in general? Like, do you think that there are people that are born in the wrong body?
I think majority of the reason why people transition are due to trauma, whether that's physical, sexual, emotional, or the off chances that they are homosexual. And again, back to the trauma, they'd rather see themselves as a straight couple to themselves, to their families, and others, than see themselves as homosexual.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that's some people who are currently transitioning who agree that we shouldn't be sterilizing children. Well, don't like that answer, but I think that's usually the answer in my book, that it's some form of trauma.
When were you able to come to terms with the fact that, oh my God, I transitioned and it's all being pinpointed back to this moment where I experienced the sexual abuse?
It wasn't until after I had the transition, I had started out speaking publicly. And I say that because the sexual trauma that happened to me, watch it on Alex's Stein episode. I've always been very limited on what I always said in the beginning of that trauma, but eventually I decided I need to talk more about it to the best of my ability, because I don't remember everything. Yeah.
Is it something that you spent a lot of time like blocking out because it was so traumatic for you, and then you?
Yeah. So, well, yes and no. So the part where I'm with the prostitute, I will say that I don't remember much further than a quote that was given to the prostitute, just because my memory has chosen to block that. But everything before that I can remember pretty well. But the reason why I'm willing to speak out more about it now is just because it's the honest truth, and I was protecting the person who started the abuse. But again, if you watch Alex's show, you'll understand who it was, and I've forgiven them because their choices were poorly made. But I can see where it was coming from.
Yeah. Well, we love you, Abel, and we're so proud of you. And all the sweethearts love you, and we're proud of you for speaking out. It is incredibly brave to share your story and this is very inspiring because a lot of people live with trauma that they're not at a place where they're willing to share. And I think that, it's so important to share our stories so that we can be connected with other people. And the fact that you even say, like, like you said, it would upset a lot of people in the transgender community to even hear that like a lot of this does actually stem from trauma.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I know a lot of the right. It's either love or hate for Blair White and Buck Angel.
Yeah.
Blair White actually just dropped a video recently speaking to a therapist.
Yes, I saw that. That was fantastic. It actually made me cry.
Yeah, Blair even said that part of their transition was trauma based. And like I said, I'm not the only one who said it. Many others have. And if someone who is currently transitioning says it, just say. I like the Kermit meme.
Oh
Somebody
my
better
God.
take a screenshot of this. Okay, that's enough.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, everybody in here is so grateful for you sharing your story, Abel. Is there any last words you want to leave people with?
Just watch Alex's episode coming out tomorrow. I'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back in studio.
And tomorrow I get my barber's license.
Yeah, Abel did such a great job on the show. Again, be sure to watch that interview on Alex Stein, Primetime with Alex Stein. Abel gets into a lot more detail of stuff. And we are so grateful to have a sweetheart in studio.
No.
My very first real life guest.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the rest of my story before or after my barber license exam.
Let me read this. Yes, Lila, Abel wasn't rightfully informed of all the negative side effects. So your great voice to give warnings to those that you weren't given. See, this is great. And that would make such a great point, because think about somebody that might be watching this who's like, hey, I'm thinking about going through the transgender transition, and they can hear your story and actually like understand that, hey, before you do something like this, you need to be aware that there are medical consequences that you're going to have to now live with for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like I said, everyone has different negative side effects. The main issue for a lot of the young women is vaginal atrophy, which they don't say. And one thing that they are told is that they have to have a hysterectomy after 5 years. If not, they're going to die. And that's actually not a joke. Buck Angel nearly died from vaginal atrophy.
So what exactly does that mean?
So your vagina, so the testosterone kills it. I don't know the exact science. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a license. So don't question me on on my science background. But the testosterone does something to your vaginal wall to the point that it can't really, I guess, be flexible, I guess is the best way I could put it.
So it's like paralyzed.
Yeah. And
it's like paralysis, atrophy. Okay.
And it just shrinks so much that it can't really do it much anymore. And eventually Buck Angel nearly died due to that. And a lot of these young women are told to have hysterectomies at 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Luckily, some of them have been able to stop it before they hit to the 5-year mark. And those that have been able to stop it and detransition have now been mothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there are 3 young women that I know who are mothers. Prisha Mosley, who is currently pregnant.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy for her.
Daisy Stronin, I think I just butchered her last name, just had a baby. She has baby number 2. And the best, if you want to know who she is exactly, can I promote one of my documentaries?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you watch PragerU's recent documentary, D-Trans, she is the other guest on the show with me, or subject matter. And then the last one is Grace. Dang, I forgot her last name. But she came out on 60 Minutes a couple years back.
Wow.
And I think she just had baby number 2 as well.
That is incredible.
Now we just need the other young D-Trans women to have kids.
That is absolutely incredible. God is so good.
Let me see. I'm just looking at the chat. I'll answer D. Roscoe. Are there any D-Trans advocacy groups that we should be supporting? Right. There's not really too many groups. most of the detransitioners are independent contractors, I guess is the best way to describe us. But some of the groups that we work with is Do No Harm, Our Duty, Partners for Ethical Care. Now in the UK, they have GenSpect.
I want to show people where they can follow you really quickly.
I still need to re-update my Twitter. I had to.
I'm going to show you guys. This is where you guys can follow Abel Garcia. It is at official Abel G on Twitter. Please follow him, like all of his stuff, support him, and do what you sweethearts do best. That is support, like, and show love. So that is where you can find him. Abel, is there anything else you would like to promote?
If you go to my Twitter account, click on that link tree. That's where you can see all my stuff, all my interviews, all my podcasts.
Oh, let me go on it right now. Okay, where is it?
Linktree.
Okay,
That link.
Okay, we'll click on it so we can show them where it is. Okay, here is all Abel's stuff where you guys can. Oh, hold on. Let me. I have to remove this, and then I have to. Oh, I have to reshare. Share.
I'll have to show you how to do this.
I need a second computer monitor. Okay, here it is. Here we are. This is the link tree. If you go on his Twitter that you can see, and you can help Abel Garcia's detrans activism.
Oh, that one's a new one. I didn't even haven't even promoted that yet. But yes, I opened a donor box to assist me with all my. That's mostly going to be used for medical expenses if my insurance will not cover it. But it will also cover when I have to travel with flight costs if I can't get that covered, food, and I'll make sure try to see if I can get you guys to get that tax back at the end of every tax year. Gotta talk to an attorney for that, though.
Okay, so follow Abel. Show him lots of love. I know we have a hard out here at 9:50, but
there we go.
Your alarm's going off. Okay. We love you guys. Any other things you want to say?
No, that is everything. Yay! Unfortunately, I have to go to work now.
Okay, well, this was so much fun, you guys. That has been Late Night Lila with special guest Abel Garcia. We will see you guys next time.
Y'all have a great stream.
Bye.
Bye.